everybody, Lindsay Adler here, and color is my thing. I use super saturated color throughout my work as an essential part of my style. I want to excite people with my images. I want to hold their attention, and color is one of those really important ways that I keep a viewer engaged. So whether it is a creative fashion editorial, a portrait, a commercial campaign, you name it, I am very purposeful about color. Color management occurs throughout the entire process of creating an image. I could make a super long video that goes into the minutia of every little element you could possibly consider, but in fact, I want this to be much more practical. So let's get to the key points of our color management workflow. Color management starts with my camera settings. I always, 100% of the time, shoot RAW and Adobe RGB. This gives me flexibility with my file and the maximum color information, which is going to be really important later on when I edit. Once my lights are set, I take a photo of a gray card or a color checker to help me achieve accurate color and accurate white balance. Now, using the Color Checker Passport Photo 2, you can create custom profiles that make sure that every color is exactly how it should be. But sometimes my main goal of a photo shoot is just to get the white balance right and not have any unwanted shifts in tint or temperature. And in that case, just a gray card is going to be sufficient. I use this gray card as a neutral point in either Lightroom or Capture One, and then I apply that color correction across all of the photos in the entire shoot. I always shoot tethered no matter what shoot that I'm doing so that I can focus on my lighting, check other technical elements, but importantly, I want to manage my color. And because of this, my monitor needs to be calibrated, even if it's not the one that I'm going to be doing final retouching on. I use the Calibrite Display Pro HL to create a custom monitor profile. I picked up this new calibration tool last year, and it is packed with Calibrite's newest upgrades and technology. So basically, display tech and the capabilities of displays, they are rapidly advancing and they're quickly changing. And Calibrite, they wanted to make sure they were keeping pace with what exists now, but also what is coming. So they did a bit of future-proofing in their design. So you buy now, but it will serve you well later. To put it simply, there is a brand new sensor and it can calibrate extremely bright screens, mini LED, OLED, Apple XDR displays, and the Display Plus HL, it's HDR ready so that as software is developed for HDR monitors, you are future-proofing your investment. Like, it'll be good for that tech. Now the HL, it stands for high luminance, and it is a must-have if you are working with high-end monitors. These new HL sensors combined with Calibrite's Profiler, this is the software, they are perfect for existing monitors and technology, but also for future and developing technologies. Probably one of my favorite things is how easy the Calibrite Profiler is to use. So if you want to get super technical, or maybe you have a Digitech on site, they can help you out. All of the advanced stuff is there, but if you're like me and you probably want to keep it simple, there's a basic mode. It gets the job done. It does a great job. Now you just put this sensor on the target, it creates a custom profile for you, and thankfully it walks you through the process. Oh, and by the way, the latest software updates, they make it even faster than ever. So if you already have these tools and this software, make sure that you update it because it's going to save you a lot of time. Similarly, I'm sure that you heard that we're supposed to regularly recalibrate our monitors. Now, their software, thankfully, has this thing called Quick Check. It lets you quickly see if the monitor has drifted away from its previous calibration. In other words, you can quickly see if you actually need to recalibrate or just leave it as is, which is great because it's another way to save you time. While I'm tethered and while I'm shooting, I play around with color and color grading. So do I want to adjust the hues and the tone in my image for creative effect? I can make the colors richer, more saturated, lighter, darker, play around with contrast. Accuracy is not always the goal, especially for a fashion editorial, but I still need to calibrate my monitor to accurately represent the colors I'm adjusting. So this is where the creative part of color processing begins, and then it will continue in Photoshop. So as I mentioned, I start by editing in my RAW processor to adjust the colors a little bit, but when I do my precise color grading, that happens in Photoshop. And I always edit with a 16-bit TIFF file in Adobe RGB color space because this gives me a lot of color information. Plus, importantly, it really helps me to decrease the likelihood of color banding when I'm editing, especially if I'm doing really big shifts in my color or tonalities. Thanks to Calibrite for partnering in this video. And if you want to make sure that you have your color management and your color workflow under control, you'll definitely want to check them out. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time.